So I take it you did not enjoy your Templar training?
That's directed at me, I take it.
Do you see any others about who have failed at their religious instruction?
I didn't fail, I was recruited into the Grey Wardens.
And if you had not been recruited, what would have happened instead?
I would have turned into a drooling lunatic, slaughtered the Grand Cleric, and run through the streets of Denham in my small clothes, I guess.
Your self-awareness does you credit.
I thought you'd like that.
I hear you drove off those bandits. I hope they don't come back.
I hope they don't come back.
I hear those bandits are back again. Why don't the Templars kill them?
Hello, stranger. I don't suppose you know anyone that can make traps?
Okay, this is why I picked up traps earlier. What do you need traps for?
Old man Barlin said that Darkspawn may be coming soon. He's got traps on his farm. I figured I'd put a few on my lands. Barlin wants to poison his traps. I just want normal traps.
Barlin has poison traps on his land?
He doesn't have any poison yet, thank the Maker. So his fields are just full of traps. He can be a bit eccentric.
Why don't you buy some?
None to be had. Barlin has all the traps in the village in his fields.
Okay, well, I'm quite familiar with traps and the like.
I would happily pay you to make some. There's wood and nails and other goods around the village and the forest. But you probably already know that. Sorry. Come back if you make some.
Now, there actually is something you can kind of do right here, which I'm not going to do, which is, this is one quest in the game that's actually repeatable, and just do it infinitely, and even get all the way to max level, but I don't want to do that. I can't remember if it's Springtrap we need. I think it is, but I better make sure first. Just says traps. 3 spring traps, there we go.
Did you make any traps?
Do I scare you or something?
All strangers do. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. You seem nice.
I have the traps for you.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you, stranger.
There'll just be more bandits as soon as you leave.
So let's talk about your mother for a moment.
I'd rather talk about your mother.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. And besides, isn't your mother a scary witch who lives in the middle of a forest? Much more interesting.
To you, perhaps. You would find the moss growing upon a stone interesting.
You know what's more interesting than that? Apostates, mages outside of the tower. That's illegal, you know.
You did not read that in a book somewhere, did you? I hope the small letters did not strain you overmuch.
Oh, we could not talk about your mother. That works for me.
It's very obvious that she knows the whole mage thing.
I brought my family to Lothering because I thought it would be safe.
There'll just be more
We're
bandits
planning
as
on
soon
running
as
that
you
mine
leave.
until the last minute. Felleron's orders.
Grab this stuff back here real quick.
All right, all right. I hear those bandits
There'll
are
just
back
be more
again.
bandits
Got a brother
as
that
soon
Why
as
fell
you
don't the
off
leave.
the go.
Templars kill
Mother
them?
says
Hope
we
we're
have to
not
run
next.
before the bad men get here.
I brought my family to Lothering because I thought it would be I brought my family to Lothering
There'll
because
just
I
be
thought
more
it would be
bandits
safe.
as soon as you leave.
bandits are back
I hear you drove off those bandits.
Why don't the Templars kill?
back.
Oh, those are sold nicely.
You got a bed for the night. You taken care of.
You think I'm a refugee?
You look better armed than most refugees that come through. Not implying you're a deserter or the like. I'll trust you can take care of yourself.
What's going on here?
Ever since good King Kalen passed, refugees and soldiers have been passing through. I'm the elder here, and I've my hands full making sure refugees don't turn to petty theft, or worse. Sir Bryant at the Chantry is seeing to matters of defence and such. He'd have more of an ear for your type.
We already talked to
Too
him.
much to do, and not enough time.
Do you need help?
I don't suppose you know anything of tonics, medicines, or herbs.
I don't, but my friend does.
Then you may be able to do us a lot of good. All manner of travellers come through, many injured or sick. We do our best, but we're out of supplies. There's medicinal herbs in the woods to the north. If you make a few poultices, I'll scrape together some sort of payment. I'll write all you need to know in this note here.
Does it actually do a codex for it? No, I don't think so. But I should
Have any luck finding herbs in the woods?
have what I need. I didn't need them. Here you go.
This will help many people. You're a good sort, you know.
There we go.
I hear those bandits are back
There'll
again.
just be more
Why don't the
bandits.
Templars kill them?
terrible.
We're planning
Is
on running that
anywhere
mine until
safe
the last
now?
minute. Felaron's orders.
You might not want to go in. Tavern's full, and those soldiers are being a nuisance.
Tell me about these soldiers.
They're not here to defend us. They were looking for someone before they started drinking. I hear they almost killed a man because they didn't like his face. I wonder if they're deserters from the King's army.
Why is the tavern full?
Same reason the Chantry's full, packed with people who fled their homes. The tavern keeper's letting folks sleep on the floors, but he can only fit so many. And those soldiers are getting restless.
You seem unhappy.
Is there any reason to be happy? With the king dead, them Darkspawn will overrun Lothering before anyone can organize. You'd think those soldiers could at least run off the bandits. I hear someone gave them what they deserved. Wasn't you, was it?
Yes, that was me.
It was? Hey, everyone! This is the one who drove out those thieving bastards! More will probably come, but it's good to know some justice is left here. Thank you. You might not want to go in. Tavern's full, and those soldiers are being a nuisance. It's
Oh,
no
well,
trouble.
Thanks for the advice.
And good luck to you. We could all use some, no?
Kind of weird it goes
Got a
back to
brother
that.
fell at Ostagar.
I almost
Hope
feel
we're not
sorry
next.
for the Kunari locked in that cage. It won't be able to defend itself from the Darkspawn.
Maker's blessing to you.
Oh, don't mind us. Just talk, that's all.
Oh, what was he going to say about Redcliffe? Interrupted it.
Let's be careful. Darkspawn are coming. I've got a cousin in the Templars. He says the mages in the tower out on Lake Callanhod are all turning into demons.
They always say that, though.
Well, this time it's true. They're not sure what to do about it yet, he says.
What's to do? I thought you killed them.
Easier said than done. Mages pick a fine time to go turning into demons, I tell you.
It's kind of what we were hearing. But a little bit more detail about what's actually going on. Alright, let's go into the tavern.
Well, look what we have here, then. I think we've just been blessed.
Uh-oh. Logain's men. This can't be good.
Didn't we spend all morning asking about a woman by this very description, and everyone said they hadn't seen her?
It seems we were lied to.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for trouble. These are no doubt simply more poor souls seeking refuge.
They're more than that. Now stay out of our way, sister. You protect these traitors, you'll get the same as them.
Okay. You should recognize who that is. What makes you think we're traitors?
Tern Logain claims the Grey Wardens betrayed the king. Or haven't you heard?
Enough talk! Take the warden into custody. Kill this sister and anyone else that gets in your way.
Right. Let's make this quick.
I see enemies ahead.
Okay, well... let them take the commander. The farthest.
I see. Just stopping the Reaper!
Nice stun there.
All right,
That's
you've
a
won.
lot of
We
blood.
surrender.
Good. They've learned their lesson and we can all stop fighting now.
After we've killed like all of them. Go take a message to Logain.
What do you want to tell him?
The Grey Wardens know what really happened.
I'll tell him. Right away, now. Thank you.
I apologize for interfering, but I couldn't just sit by and not help.
It's alright, I was happy to save your life. 3's not much better. So I see. Where does a sister learn to fight like that?
I wasn't born in the Chantry, you know. Many of us had more colorful lives before we joined. Let me introduce myself. I am Liliana, one of the lay sisters of the Chantry here in Lothering. Oh, I was.
What does that mean?
I joined the Chantry to live a life of religious contemplation. But I am no priest, not even an initiate.
And is there something you wanted from me?
Those men said you're a Grey Warden. You will be battling the Darkspawn, yes? That is what Grey Wardens do. I know after what happened, you will need all the help you can get. That's why I'm coming along.
I can lie. Why so eager to come with me?
The Maker told me to.
We're back away slowly. Can you elaborate?
I know that sounds absolutely insane, but it's true. I had a dream. A vision.
More crazy? I thought we were all full up.
Look at the people here. They are lost in their despair, and this darkness, this chaos, will spread. The Maker doesn't want this. What you do, what you are meant to do, is the Maker's work. Let me help.
Very well, I will not turn away help when it is offered.
Perhaps your skull was cracked worse than Mother thought.
Thank you. I appreciate being given this chance. I will not let you down.
Now you can actually go to this without picking up
Indeed.
characters. Like if you don't come in here and get her, you won't end up with her. But she's a rogue. I'm not sure if I mentioned it during Liliana's song at the beginning of this playthrough that I won't actually be using her like I did in that. I'm going to use her with a bow instead. Let's go ahead and move her into the group over. The dog too.
What now?
Let's see here. We need a bow for her. Go ahead and put on that one. Amulet with one cunning. What is mine? Oh, alt. I tend to like using them in medium armor, my archers. Might as well put it on for something. Check out our skills. I mean, that could work. Let's go ahead and throw this on stamina regeneration. Any I think that's what I want. It would be the pinning shot. Reduce attack and defense. Yeah, because this one will slow him down. Okay, I guess they don't count as getting killed. No bodies.
I can't believe that Kunari creature isn't dead yet.
Take that back.
If you want something, speak to Denal. I don't deal with customers.
Mother says we have to run before the bad men get here.
All right, all right.
It's even more money selling those arrows.
You're gonna make more trouble? We've about all we can stand in Lothering now.
It wasn't exactly here, or wasn't exactly me. Sorry about the mess.
They had it coming, and they were trouble enough themselves. So long as you don't start more, I won't get excited. Right then, name's Denal. Sorry I can't chat much. As you see, we've a full house.
Who were those men I fought exactly?
When Tien Logain marched by, he left those fellas behind to look for Grey Wardens. I suppose that's you.
Yes, it is.
I have no qualm with you, whatever the Tien says. My grandfather served. Your secret's safe with me. What can I get you then?
I don't suppose you have any rooms.
Look around. People are sleeping on the floors and in the attic. That's how many rooms I don't have.
Heard any rumors?
I hear that Tiernan Logain, the regent, is calling for new levies of troops. He wants to rebuild the army we lost at Ostergar. Thing is, there's not a lot of spare men to be found. Out at Dragon's Peak, there's press gangs roaming around, grabbing any free man they can lay their hands on. Anything else I can get you?
Let's get as many rumors as we
I
can.
hear told they held a funeral in Denerim for King Keelan. The Grand Cleric called for a full day of mourning, and there was a procession a mile long passing by the brazier. It's too bad they don't have a body to properly burn. What happened to him at the hands of those creatures, it's unthinkable. Anything else I can get you? Thank the Maker we didn't lose Tiernan Logain at Ostergar. He pulled his troops out just in time, so it said. Without him, we'd be lost. Anything else I can get you?
Yeah. Whatever.
I hear news from Denerim that Tiernan Logain has been declared the new regent. It makes sense, his daughter being the queen. Anything else I can get you?
Let's keep it going.
Some folks aren't happy about Tiernan Logain being named regent. There are rumors he had something to do with the king's death. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? The Darkspawn killed him, sure enough. If Tiernan Logain couldn't save the king from that end, then nobody could. Anything else I can get you?
He's definitely more to blame than the Wardens.
With King Keelan dead, the throne falls to Queen Anora. She's made her father the regent, however, at least for now. I think Keelan's father, old King Merritt, would have approved. Anything else I can get you? There's knights from Redcliffe spread all over Ferelden on some kind of mission, but I hear that they're starting to become rare to find. Maybe they all went back to Redcliffe. More likely they got tired of searching for something that can't be found and abandoned their search. I wonder what Earl Eamon is gonna do without any knights. Anything else I can get you?
So, we already know for sure that one of those knights definitely did die.
I've heard a lot of stories of bands of Darkspawn roaming the countryside far north of the Kokori Wilds. They just seem to appear out of nowhere and disappear just as fast. Anything else I can get you? I heard from some travelers that something bad might have happened in Redcliffe, overrun by Darkspawn, maybe. There's no word from the village at all. A merchant friend of mine said he encountered someone fleeing the place and there was nothing waiting for him there but death. He wisely turned around and came right back. Anything else I can get you?
Okay, so there's even more crazy stuff going on at Redcliffe.
I hear the Dwarven King is passed on. Old as he was probably poisoned or assassinated. That's how the dwarves normally go out, isn't it? Anything else I can get you?
Now, if you were here for the Dwarven noble origin, you would know that that is probably very likely.
Something's going on at the Mage's Tower at Lake Callanhod. Nobody knows exactly what, though, and the Templars aren't saying. Exactly what we need, isn't it? Let's hope the Mages are just cooking up something to deal with the Darkspawn. Somebody should be, after all. Anything else I can get you? I hear from folks traveling the East Roads that there's werewolves in the Brazilian forest. Actual werewolves. They haven't been around since the days of Dane and his ilk. Anything else I can get you? Some hunters who range into the Brazilian forest say that a Dalish clan there has fallen to some kind of sickness. The Blight, most likely, poor sods. Anything else I can get you?
Again, something that should sound fairly familiar from the Dalish origin.
Arl Urian wasn't truly killed at Ostergar. His son, Lord Von, hired Antivan crows to kill his father before he ever reached the battlefield, only to first be killed by a mob of elves himself. Anything else I can get you?
There's something again, another similarity with Game of Thrones being the crows. You'll find out more about them later. Of course, we already have a faction that resembles the crows from Game of Thrones, being the Wardens. But it's just another, way to use it by actual name.
I've heard a rumor that the reason Queen Anora has never produced an heir is that she's barren. It's a curse from the Maker for bringing a commoner into the royal line. Until someone of royal blood is put on the throne, there will never be an heir. It seems the royal line of Callanhod has been broken for good, no? Anything else I can get you? Habron, daughter of the Earl of Southreach, has spent an exorbitant amount of her father's coin buying puppies. No one knows what happens to the puppies, and she buys a new one every week. Anything else I can get you?
That is... I don't even know how to respond to that. Doesn't necessarily sound like it could be something good.
Going around that the Grey Wardens are evil and that they worship the Archdemon. They're the ones that caused the blight. They were getting upset, see, that there was no use for them anymore, so they summoned up the Archdemon to do their bidding. It would explain a great many things. Anything else I can get you?
Talk about bullshit.
It's not just Darkspawn and the Horde, you know that? There are people with them. Folks who are sick with the blight, and their minds are all twisted and mad. I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. Anything else I can get you?
Yeah, I don't think it's actually mentioned in the game yet, but by name they call those people ghouls, I believe.
Unless Isolde, the young Orlesian woman that married Earl Eamon, I hear tell she tried to poison her husband so she could marry his brother, Bantegan. Maker's honest truth. Anything else I can get you?
Okay, I want to say Bantegan was the guy in the scene earlier that we've seen confronting Loghain at the meeting, and now it's believed that his wife might be the reason he's ill. At least that's the current rumor.
There's talk that King Caelan was cheating on the Queen and she found out about it. That's why Tyrn Loghain abandoned Caelan at Ostagar. Anything else I can get you?
Some of these rumors, though.
I don't know what to tell you. Nothing I can think of at the moment.
I'll give you credit for having a lot of things.
You think that Canary killed all them folks and just stood there waiting to be taken away?
Getting some info about the Canary now. Come on. Okay, she doesn't want to talk.
Haven't had a roof over them in weeks.
Why isn't anyone defending us?
You
The
think
Terran
the
just
Canary
marched
killed
on
all
and
them
left
folk
us.
and just stood there waiting to
Few
be taken
knights have
away?
come through here searching for some holy artifact.
Alright, we heard about this guy.
One of them stopped.
You hear about food? Take it up with that bleeding runt by the chantry. I got other gear to sell.
You're out of food?
Whole mess of refugees come in and leave near every night. All have hungry bellies, sad tales, and mementos for barter. I sold that bleeding merchant outside about half my larder 2 weeks back, and now he's charging outrageous sums for all my food.
I mean, we didn't really take care of it, but don't worry about him. I took care of it.
You did?
Why not?
Well, I don't know what to say to that. Thanks.
Show me what you got. Actually need to put that dagger on. One that Liliana was using.
A few knights have come through here.
You hear about food? Take it up with that bleed. I got other gear to sell.
Go ahead and do this real quick. Know of any well-paying work in Lothering?
Check the chanter's board by the chantry. There's good jobs there. I don't suppose you know anything about poison.
Poison? I have dabbled in such things.
I figured if I kept asking, I'd find someone. I'd pay good coin for some simple poison. Something to slow them beasties down or make them think twice.
Any idea where I could get ingredients?
Well, there's herbs in the North Wood. As for other stuff, look around town. Some refugees just left things behind to travel faster. I don't really know what you need, though. I might have some in stock, too.
Alright, let's find out what exactly we need real quick. 3 flasks of venom should do the trick. Okay, so we need 3 toxin extract. I think he actually has that.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock?
Be in here. Oh, I could have sworn he had some. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and sell real quick. Let's buy some of these gifts. And some plans. Please. All right. Say doesn't have the what we're actually needing. Just 3 flasks of venom. I think we can find some outside though.
There'll just be more bandits as soon as you leave.
I'm trying to listen to the bard's song. Can we speak when they're done?
Can we speak once?
Just go ahead and talk to her.
Yes?
Yeah, I can get her to leave. What do you know of this place?
Lothering? I think it started as a settlement by the river, and then grew when it became the place where 2 roads met. There are always people in Lothering, but many are just passing through.
Let's talk about something else.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
Just go down the list. This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
You dreamed of the blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
Did you hear voices? And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
Now, I can't remember how long this is supposed to be after the events of the DLC, Liliana's Song. I want to say it's around a year, but I'm not 100% on that. suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Approval?
Yes? Well, here I am.
What was life like in the Chantry cloister?
Quiet. It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending? How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
Yeah, I'm curious, what did you say to them?
What can I say to them? What they believe is what the Chantry says, and the Chantry is infallible, yes? Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
I don't know if that's new approval or not.
Yes? Well, here I am.
What would someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
They don't teach you how to fight in the cloister, do they?
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
Affirmed?
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
So your skills were learned before your time in the Chantry?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course. Let's move on.
She was eager to finish that conversation.
Yes?
We do know that that's not entirely
Well,
true.
Here I am.
You're a traveling minstrel. Do you have tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Okay, we've kind of heard a little bit about that before. Know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
Okay, go ahead.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Pretty fucked. That's terrible.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Not a bad little story, though. Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
You could say so. Yeah, I met her in the wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
Okay, by looks, this does fit. She looked like your average old woman.
Well, if Flemeth really exists, she would be very, very old indeed. Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
We've definitely heard something similar. What happened then?
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
So, yeah, it's definitely different than the version that Morrigan told us. Another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
Anything about the Dalish?
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a holy exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did she die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
So a little bit more backstory on her. We kind of heard a little bit about her over in the Chantry. Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
I believe that's all. They got approval, so let's make sure.
Well, here I am. Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep... Which one?
Alright,
It will come to you soon, I'm sure.
There'll just be more
I'm trying to
bandits.
listen to the song. Can we speak when they're done?
Can we speak once they finish?
We were lucky. We had a
Please, I
coin to
must
pay the
continue
toll.
playing,
I
else
just
I'll
play
earn
what the
no coin
innkeep
tonight.
asks. We need his coin to travel north.
Dad, where can we go? Home? This is no better than what we left.
Alright, let's talk to this guy too.
As
Blackstone
I
liaison.
live and breathe, you're the Grey Warden everyone's been talking about.
Something I can do for you?
I represent the Blackstone Irregulars. We're a mercenary company that fell on hard times after the war with Orlais. I'm sure you know that times are getting worse every day. With your help, the Irregulars could be of use to Ferelden once more.
Why should I help you?
The Blackstone Irregulars fought alongside the King's army against Orlais. We've helped nobles defend their land and given our service to people in need for generations. Our current captain, Raelnor, is an honorable man who sees that we can do some good in Ferelden once more. He is so confident in our mission that he trusted the Grey Wardens would support us.
Alright, well, how can I be of service?
Our leaders thought you might be willing to help. Each of our posts in Ferelden will contain letters addressed to you. Unlike most who work with us, you're getting letters straight from Raelnor and Tauran, our leaders. I hope this tells you how highly the Irregulars regard the Grey Wardens.
Alright, let's take a look.
Thank you. When you've completed a mission, just return to me or any of our members stationed at an Irregulars post. We'll make sure your efforts are rewarded. Maker's blessings light your path.
Alright, does that actually appear under quest related? To the inimitable Grey Warden. Your deeds have spread since the tragedy of Ostagar, and I find myself in need of one such as you. I am Raelnor, captain of the venerable Blackstone Irregulars, and I hope to win your trust. The Irregulars have come on hard times since the war with Orlais, but I have fought to improve their reputation. Gone are the days of my father's shady deals with unscrupulous nobles in Denerim. No, I have trained a guild filled with honorable men ready to fight for Ferelden. I am proud to say that I have seen your own Grey Wardens as a sort of model. We are not perfect. My own son advocates a move back to the more lucrative way my father ran the guild, but we are steadfast. It is in this context that I ask for your help. I promise we will reward you accordingly. Should you be willing, please find letters in this box and others that are all over the land and carry out the requests therein. For this matter, consider requests from my son as if they came from myself. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Whether you choose to assist us or not, you are doing the Maker's work. I am honored to work with you, Raelnor. Let's go ahead and take a look. Scraping the barrel. Number of people pledged to aid the Blackstone regulars in times of need. Those times are now. Here you will find 3 letters of conscription. Deliver them to people listed below and return to the regulars for your payment. Should any of these people refuse, do what you must to get them to honor their oaths. Okay, so Redcliffe, Lothering, and Denerim. Gotta find that guy in Lothering. The regulars require a trusted agent to track down and deal with deserters. Do this and you will be rewarded. These deserters took with them valuable supplies crucial to the irregulars' future as a supplier of martial services. Deal with these wastes of space as you see fit. Bring the supplies back as proof that the problem has been dealt with. We will ask no questions as to your methods or the final condition of the deserters. Use your own discretion. Lake Calenhad, Denerim, and the Frostback Mountains. Okay. So we know to watch for them. Now, can't remember where the guy is that we're supposed to find here. Let's go ahead and go out.